so here's the thing.
So you get yelled at a lot, and you buy into it.
No, but here's the thing, because look, I was a big fan of Howard's. I looked up to him, and that's where the bully has the advantage.
Yeah,
because I looked up to him so much that you wanted to please him. I loved to make him laugh, you know. I mean,
and you wanted to be there.
Yeah. So they have that power, Billy. You know, so that's why you have to take, you know, the abuse, and you have to take that Don Buchwald screaming and hoping that it doesn't get you fired. You know what I mean?
Well, I respected Howard. You know, even beforehand, when I heard about his antics on the radio and that he was starting to go into new markets and stuff, you know, like WJFK.
Yeah.
You know, or Philly. There was only like 3, right?
Yeah, when I started, it was only New York and Philly. You were there before Philly.
But I admired this
New York, Philly, and Washington came aboard at the same time.
I admired
JFK and MMR came on
because it was time. It was time to stop saying what time it was and reminding people to wear their hat because it's going to be cold. I mean, fuck that. That's like 1930s.
Yeah.
You know, so here comes this guy, and he just kicked down the walls, and to me it was like watching Larry Bird get the ball. You know, since I'm from Boston, it's like once he got it, oh, what is he gonna do? Strap your seats, you know. And that was like how I perceived Howard when I first got a load of him. I said, this guy rocks, you know? I mean, it's like, you really don't know where it's going to go and what's going to happen. It was almost like a sporting event. So,
and what's so brilliant about him and about the whole thing, it was so deceptively simple. And when he described it, he said he'd just be in the car riding with his father. Hey, what's the #1 song? Hey, what time is it? And he said, why doesn't somebody just go on the radio and talk like a human being? It would be so unique. And that's he just got on the air, you know. Even when he was saying he was being dirty, but he wasn't being anywhere near as dirty as a 5-year-old kid on the playground. Nowhere near, you know? Like, the fact that he was coming close to talking like a human being was freaking everybody out. That was so great.
And that changed the industry because suddenly there were sports Howards, and there were chick Howards, and there was weather Howards, and, you know, and he was literally being nibbled to death by ducks, by imitators.
After you, like, you know, tell Howard that you're not going to do it, you know, with the union, what happens? You're just off the show? Even the radio show?
No, eventually they finally paid scale. And so they took the blinders off. They can't, you know, because I was in cloistered too.
Oh, so then why did you leave then?
A lot of people think I left because they brought in John Cristofalusi from Ren and Stimpy, who came in there to sandbag me and bring in one of his disciples with him, and Howard, you know.
But that might have been heavy to you, but that was lost on everybody else.
I don't know, but you know what it was is that I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he got himself fired from his own show,
right.
And then now he wants me to treat him like he's my partner. I was a hired gun. You know what it's like. It's like somebody hires you for a part, you go in there, you don't like fasten yourself to someone else, and then when they have problems, that they're your problems.
Yeah, no. It's
So
work for hire.
So they brought him in, and I had just come back from burying my brother. My brother died.
Oh, shit.
So I was in Boston at his funeral, and they sent me a wreath from the show.
What is this? Deaths Are Us?
Yeah. Yeah, Toys R Us went out of business. Somebody's got to move into those buildings. Okay, I got some more black crepe there.
All right, I didn't mean to slow you. Keep going.
No, and so I came back, and I was all beat up, and then, well, who do I see in the bathroom? This asshole, John Cristofalusi. You know, and I go, how the hell are you? You know, and he goes, good, how the hell are you? And he came in there to, like, start all kinds of ruckus with me. But I just sat there, and I was sad, not that he came in, I was still sad about my brother. So he makes his way into my territory, and, you know, it just was so strange because they wanted to gang up on me. I mean, Howard had his dad call in, he probably prepped him, you know. And it's like,
I don't remember clear enough. Did you think it was like a Pat Cooper situation? Did he bring him on to stir the pot with you, or was the guy on?
I auditioned for the show Ren and Stimpy. It was going to be kind of groundbreaking. You know, it kind of looked abstract, like beatnik stuff, you know. And I originally auditioned for both voices, and that's what sold the show. Me and this John Cristofalusi, who created the show, went over to Nickelodeon, and we were in the hallway, you know, like Kurt Loder did his news over here. This is the old MTV building. And he said, all right, and we recorded the whole demo in a closet. It was like right out of Central Casting. There was a broom and a pail, you know, and we were like, I'm reading the script. And he says, all right, I'm going in there. And he goes and meets with the women from Nickelodeon. He comes out, congratulations, what you just did sold the show. And I said, great. And then he decided that he was going to do the Ren character. And I didn't give a shit because I had a job. You know,
Yeah,
anybody that
of
gives
course.
me a job is a hero to me. But eventually, he got himself fired from the show. And there were all kinds of problems and stuff that was going on that nobody knew about. But so they went and they looked at the old audition tapes. They said, who was going to do this anyway? It was like Billy was going to do it. So they auditioned everybody in town, you know, out of protocol. Mark Hamill told me they auditioned him. You know, but anyway, there I was, and I wind up getting both voices again. So he was an early interneter, and he whipped up this frenzy. You know, it was like these posters that would come and attack me all the time, and they were like
really? What?
disciples that would fly into the sun for
Oh,
the
well,
guy.
like just mad that it's not.
Mad that
That you
not
stole
John.
his gig
that
type
I
thing?
stole everything, and that I was like a backstabber and all this stuff. But he pushed his own self-destruct button, and anybody who's ever worked with him will tell you that. And so when they brought him into the show, I was just like,
How aware was Howard of any of this or all of this?
he knew I was still working on the show.
No, the whole reason they brought him in was to make you uncomfortable.
To F with me.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that was. Come on, that's what
No,
we
I know.
did.
I'm sure that's. I'm sure
No,
it was, but I don't remember.
I wouldn't play along. Like I said, I just there was no grace to be gained by fighting with anybody, and silence was kryptonite to Howard. You know,
Yeah, I
no
know.
matter
But were
what
you
he said,
upset with
I was
Howard
like,
because of it?
No.
No.
See, what I meant is I thought maybe the guy was coming on to promote something.
He was.
And maybe they shouldn't have let him on in deference to Billy.
Oh no,
And
no. I mean, they wouldn't do that.
No, they needed to do that because that's a bona fide tact,
a home run, right.
tactic. Howard's father tried to act like, you stick with these guys, and it's like they weren't even union. So he's sticking up for non-union people, which is totally against his,
So why would Howard's father have called then? Just because he was
Just
a
to-
radio guy, or did Howard have
No,
him?
he probably told him call in and
Well, Howard's dad produced
Cartoons.
Tennessee Tuxedo.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Not they Tennessee. but
And then he became Maxwell Smart.
yeah,
Wait,
exactly.
no. I would have called you sooner, Chief, but I couldn't get my shoe off.
No, but
Tennessee Tuxedo, right?
yeah. Was that your last? So that was it for you in your head?
No. After he left, I was really upset that happened.
But then, what made you leave? Then, what was the final straw?
Because I was asking for more money, and they were dilly-dallying around, and Tom was nickel and diming me, and and I just said, hey, I'm too old to be a victim. Like, what am I doing begging for money? I'm a full-grown fucking man.
Yeah.
If you don't want me or you don't want to pay me, then okay, I'm gone.
I'm telling you.
Wait, I got it.
I'm telling you, I'm sure it was an argument about money.
Yes.
But just like with me, I don't think money had anything to do with it. I think he maybe was threatened by you. That Howard and that show never had to worry about money. There was so much more money than we will ever know.
No, I know. But Billy, what amount were you? I'm just curious if you can
No,
remember.
don't make them.
No, who cares? What, I mean, at
I
this
don't even
point,
remember.
I'll tell you what I was making when I left.
Nobody wants to be poor in New York. Let's put it that way.
No.
It's a
but,
sewer.
No, the only reason I'm asking is, was it a large amount? Was it a small amount?
No. Large amounts when you're talking millions and
Yeah.
stuff. That was not my the club that I was going to be in. But I just said, I got to leave. I mean, I can't pretend anymore. They're not going to pay me any more money. And I went in and I told Howard one morning, I said, this was after, what's his ass? The actor, Iron Man there.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. was a guest on the show, and he was doing like bit parts in new movies and stuff. And I was Red, taken from the tube bar
Yeah, from the
tapes.
tube bar.
And he was talking about his movie, how it's like, well, there we are, we're all around the table and the turkey, and I said, did you fuck the turkey in between takes? Did you get up on the table on all fours and fuck the turkey? And he was like going, fuck you, man. It was like he's arguing with a character.
Right.
And just like Conan, when I had the Jackie puppet, and you're writing insults to insult Conan with, and the Jackie puppet is going, and Conan's staring at the puppet like filled with anger, and he says, hey, fuck you, like that or something. And are you arguing with this puppet, Conan?
You know, I get in trouble with everybody because I come up with my stupid theories that are, I'm guess, way off. But I swear to you, to me, that day was the birth of Triumph the Insult Dog. Because you were attacking Conan with this puppet.
Oh, yeah.
And he couldn't. You look like an idiot if you fight with the puppet.
That's
it's
right.
like, and the puppet can say it. Otto and George had a talk show. I did Otto's talk show a couple of
I
times.
loved that guy.
This is an X-rated ventriloquist, and
I
he's
loved
got
him.
this
Yeah, so
filthy,
did I.
filthy dummy, and they're the host. So they're talking to you. If you're talking to the dummy's talking to you. So if you talk to Otto, you look like a fucking idiot.
Right.
But if you talk to the dummy, you're talking to the dummy, and it was like. It just was absolute. Nobody would do the show because it was a losing
But
proposition.
the guy was not interesting enough to talk to. He played it so perfectly. He was just like tepid. You know what I mean? But the puppet was capable of saying anything. The puppet even had a detachable top to his head so he could do his Kennedy assassination impression.
But there was nothing to address with Otto.
With him, no.
He was absolutely bland.
Well, so you thought, what age did you think you were funny? And the puppet would just come in.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Go ahead, tell me.
What age did you think you were funny? Yeah, I'll handle the jokes, Otto. Yeah, the only joke you ever handle is between your legs.
I'll never forget this, Billy, and I think I've told you this. And Jackie, you were there, I don't know if you remember, but the day you left,
Yes.
it was a commercial break, and we're all in the studio, and it's Howard, me, and it was Robin. Now, Jackie, you were there. You had to been there. Let's take it a shit.
But we didn't. He didn't like leaving a fanfare, right? You just stopped coming in.
What? No, he was gone.
No, I told him after that fiasco with Robert Downey Jr. He said, "Boy, man, there should be more red. You got to bring red in more." And I said, "That's what I wanted to talk to you about." I said, "Listen, Howard, I want to make like a lot of money, and the chances of that happening here are just not to be. Let's face it. I'm not going to make any kind of big money. I won't even have a chance at it," which he understood.
Right.
That guy never sat there and.
So what'd he say?
He just said, "So what are you going to do with your house?" And I said, "I don't know, sell it, I guess, But the thing was, I didn't care. That's a very magical feeling if most of you people remember what it's like to
Once you make up your mind.
suddenly working and you're looking at a bunch of nothing down the track. And it's like, have I just blown my feet off? Have I just committed suicide? But there's something very magical about that feeling because we all know that the future is so unwritten. You don't even know, even at our position in life, our station in life.
You never know.
You don't know who you're going to meet that will change your life.
But that's the thing that I want to say to you.
What?
Is because after he left, when we were all in the studio, Howard was like, and we were all talking, and Howard goes, "Fucking Billy leaving." Doesn't Billy know the only reason why he gets any voice work is because of this show?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with him? I mean, the only reason people want him is because of me and his show.
I know.
And that's when I said, in my head, I'm sitting there going, "You're a fucking megalomaniac."
Well,
you
because
think
he's
everything.
thought the same thing
This
about
guy is the
every
most
single
talented
person.
voice guy in the fucking world.
Of course.
And Howard is like thinking it's all because of his show.
Well, the fans were like that too. He'll be back. He better get his ass back to the Stern Show. Yeah, like something. If I had taken anybody's career advice from that peanut gallery that was there, he's probably selling oranges on a bag in a corner, And
I just blown. I don't know, but I was blown away by.
You just always wonder when he says stuff like that. I always wonder if he's just saying that, or what. Sometimes I get worried that he really believes.
Oh no, Jack! This is off the air. This is not when the.
No.
He
doesn't matter
believed
off
this.
the air or
No,
on
but
the
he
air.
believes it. Trust me. I mean, that's what he would say to me all the time, and I'm sure to you too.
But I had to laugh because he thought that he was the only one that could find a diamond on the floor and had the good sense to pick it up. You go anywhere, they're gonna go, "Wait a minute, say that. What did you just say? Do that. What was that voice? You can do weather. Do you do other forms of weather? They do the wind, and they go, "Do you do any other forms of weather?"
No, but now you're the voice of Bugs Bunny. You're the fucking M&M, fucking the red M&M. It's just amazing.
I never stopped working.
And it's not a comfortable subject for him, and I don't think it ever was. But you're just too talented for the room. Absolutely too talented for the room, because he certainly had the fucking money.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Sure.
And another thing was, and you were not in his control. When you were sitting there, and Fred was here, and I was there, and we're whipping down the notes, and the notes are lined up in front, and you're firing away. He's not in that loop.
No.
There was no way to hand him an idea and have him say okay and then pass it to
But
Billy.
he was a good audience. You got to remember. I mean, he would never lose it because that was loss of control. But I would watch him just schnodding and
Right. No, he'd love it. But then when the dust settled, you know, but like you just said, he was the audience for that.
Yeah.
For the Billy show.
Well, here's what I thought. I loved Robin's energy. I really did. I know you had your back and forth.
No, I love Robin, actually. I have no problem with Robin.
And I just loved her energy. And Fred, this is what I liked about everybody. You guys were gentlemen, you know. You weren't like right off the street looking for a fist fight, you know, like some guests that had come in there, you know, like unpredictable. You know they are, but...
so fun.
Yeah, where they'd actually want to get in a fist fight with you. And
Robert Blake.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
You work here.
That is the greatest single story. We had this child actor on the show, and he came in and sat where Billy is, and I'm sitting here, and he walks in, and Howard says, "How's your penis?" And he said, "I'll come over this console. I'll come over this goddamn console. You don't treat me. I'm not your dancing monkey, pal." And as he's going off, I said to myself,
"Oh, wow.
Holy mackerel, this guy's going to kill somebody." And then he killed his wife. This guy's going to kill him. He kills him.
It was a kick at the cat.
Oh, God.
I can't reach this guy with the big nose over here, so I'm going to kill my wife.
He was a little guy. Oh, so. I'm not your dancing monkey, man.
He played Beretta, in case anybody.
Yeah, you know Robert Blake.
Yeah, you work your side of the street. No, you work your side of the street. I'll work my side. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
partner.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see his interview? Oh,
And it's so funny because when he started, all of a sudden, here comes Gary and Ronnie. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What are they going to do?
that's the funny thing. Ronnie's Howard's security guy, and he's shorter than Beetlejuice.
Right. Hey, Howard, I got your back. Thanks, Gary.
Come on, everybody wants to feel wanted.
So great.
Needed for something.
No, but you were the first casualty that left.
Yeah, but I did tell him. I said I'm gonna leave, and I didn't tell him in advance. There was no, because I'm not that stupid to hang a lantern on my exit like 2 weeks beforehand, or I'd be, dog meat.
But now I gotta ask you a question. Was it secretly like, when you started getting all this work, was it like, yeah, fuck you guys, you fucking bastard, you want to pay me?
You already were.
I was working.
No, but when you started to get the big shit, I mean, it must have been like, yeah, because
See, I want to answer that for you. He's a bigger guy than that. I don't think it went.
I don't know. You know what, Jackie? Tom was.
Answer his question.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and answer. Yeah, because
Well, you know what? It's always tempting, but you just got to live well. I always read that living well
is
was
the best revenge.
Right. Against anybody, because what are they going to say? What, are you still selling orange on a street corner out in L.A.? And it's like, go to Celebrity Net Worth, look up my name, and have a gun for lunch.
No, but Jackie, because, I've told you this. I don't know if
it's tempting, but I'm not like, that's not my part of town. I never acted like that. I never had a sense of entitlement. All I wanted to do, I didn't think you could make money or be rich. I didn't think you could be famous. I was bursting to contribute. I wanted to bring something to that table so badly. That's all anything meant to me.
No, I get that, but I'm saying, like, when I would go to Tom, and I told you this, Jackie, and you've had I love your top story, so you gotta, please remind me to tell this. You gotta hear this. This is a great one. But Tom was dying of cancer. Okay? He had. He had like a tumor in his fucking shoulder. I don't know what, when you had that, when he had that?
Who cares? Cancer is funny.
I'd call his office and he'd answer and be like, fuck.
No, so I think I was making $43,000 a year. This is after 10 years being.
Hey, big spender.
And I asked, and Tom is literally going through chemo, and I asked him for $50,000 a year, and I said, Tom, all I want is $50,000 a year, and Tom leaned over and he goes, John, I'll die of cancer before I pay you $50,000 a year.
Oh, wow. He never died, though, did he?
No, but then this is the same.
That is a company man.
Yeah, but this is
That is a fucking idiot. That is.
But
both.
this is the same guy who. Him and Steve Kingston, who was a program director.
Yeah.
I was the one going, look, I'd like to make some more money, and they both said, look, Howard created you, and I go, no, years and years of bad parenting created me.
There you go.
Because Howard didn't create.
Did your dad get his parenting skills from Mo of the Three Stooges?
No, he's been slapped the shit out of me.
Well,
too.
I mean, yeah, because your dad, you hung his face on Don Buchwald.
Stop stuttering.
I took psychology.
No, so for me, Jack, when I left to do the Tonight Show to be the announcer, I could not wait for that moment to sit across from Tom, and it was like that one the moment of at the end of Shawshank Redemption, when he climbs through all this
John,
shit.
you're petty.
When he fucking gets out of that shit tunnel and fucking raises his arms.
Like everybody.
Yeah. So I couldn't wait, and there I am, like Tom sitting, you and Jack, and I go, Tom, I just want to say that I'm giving you my, 2 weeks notice, and he goes, oh yeah, why? I go, because I'm going to be the new announcer on the Tonight Show, and he just goes, no way.
Really?
Yes.
He said that?
2 words, no way. And I was like, yeah.
How's that
way.
cancer for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
when
Jackie?
When are you going to get the balls to leave, Tom? Huh? Mouse balls? Why don't you leave?
But you know what I mean, Billy? It was
Yes.
that one feeling of, go fuck yourself.
There was a certain turning point where the funny stories. I got to tell the story about the negotiation.
Yeah,
with
you're gonna
Tom,
love this one.
But there's a whole added part to that negotiation that I've never actually thrown in, but that was actually the negotiation where I wound up when my salary passed his. And I never thought about that till years later because, forget about negotiating with us. We're all of a sudden making more money than him. He was glad he had cancer.
I can laugh because I had cancer and I beat it.
Hey!
Yeah? So continue, please.
I'm overdue. So when you're working, you do your homework, and I would go around and I was the ambassador and do the different markets, and I became very good friends with a guy in the Rochester market, and he told me the whole deal about syndication and what you have to pay, and he was great pep talk. He said, no matter who you are, no matter how tiny the station is, it's $250,000. If you want the Stern Show, it's $250,000. I don't care if you got 3 people listening. It's $250,000.
You gotta hear this.
So get out your pens and pencils. So I know this, and he also tells me, listen, don't be intimidated when you negotiate. He says, when you go on stage, you tell jokes because that's your job. When the garbage man gets in the truck, he goes around and picks up the garbage. That's his job. When you go in and ask Tom for more money, he falls off his chair. That's his job. So I know that since it's been 2 years since my contract is up, and I know in the previous 2 years we have added 10 new markets, and like Dallas. I mean, they weren't 250,000. Some of them were huge, but at 10, no matter what, is $250,000 each.
Yeah.
So I know this, and I go in and Tom, I'm making $300,000 a year, and he offers me a 7% salesman's raise, the $321,000. And I walked in and said, this is crazy. I'm not selling ads, with the greatest radio show ever, and this won't do. And he said, well, what kind of raise are you looking for?
I love this.
And I said, I want $400,000. I want $100,000. And he looked at me and said, like what planet are you from? And he said, where would you get the balls to ask for a $100,000 raise? And without missing a beat, I said, well, since my last contract, we've added 10 new stations. I know that we never get less than $250,000 for a new market. If I'm not 1/25th of this show, I shouldn't be here. I'm at least 1/25th of this show. So 1/25th of $250,000 is $10,000. 10 new markets, that's a $100,000 raise. And he looked at me and he said, Jackie, 1/25th of $250,000 is not $10,000. And I said, dude, and he turned to his fucking hand machine and he went like this, like this, like this, and he went, oh. Because he didn't question the viability of my request. He questioned my math.
That's right.
He said, I'm a fucking mechanical engineer, you fucking
But you know
guinea
something?
pig.
All these guys, what I learned over the years is, as soon as I got out of New York, I mean, I've worked for the biggest mockers, you know, in show business, these big producers, you name them. And a lot of them, they all have a Ralph. They all have a power dude. So they've got this structure set up
A
where...
pet, like a person that's a pet.
Yes, but people who don't have any talent, nothing to offer the arts, are in charge of it somehow. You know, it's like there's a table full of people. On one side, you get guys like artists who don't know what it feels like to not have an idea. And then on the other side, you got all these fucking, you know, guys with their suits on sitting there, and they don't know what it feels like to have one. So how
They
do you...
wouldn't know an idea if it hit him on the head.
or bit them in the balls. But so here's like, how do you ever get these people together? So I've watched it, and there's always one guy who has like eyes and ears. You know, it's like every agent that I ever met or producer for some project, like I wanted to talk to somebody, there'd be some little fop sitting at the desk, you know, secretary. Yes, he'll see you now, you know, and I'd go, oh, great, thanks. And then the minute you leave that meeting, and you go to the bathroom with your buddy, you know, and it's like, can you believe what that guy just said? Meanwhile, you see a couple of feet sitting.
Their antenna.
No, a couple of feet just
Right,
sitting in the
right.
stall like this. And it's him. It's the kid who's going to report back, you know? Or they'll leave a cell phone under like a couch pillow.
Yeah, the Jerry Lewis thing.
Yeah, but it really happens. I've seen it happen. I said, I don't want to do business with somebody like that. You know, what am I, fucking 7? You got rocks in your head?
But then you find out they're all.
And it's like I got rocks in my head, but I got lucky.
Well, I'll tell you,
No
Jack,
luck.
the other thing with Tom, just to get...
I don't like him, by the way.
No.
I never did.
No.
I was like...
he's a dick.
I said, what are these guys doing making plans for me? You know, I'm the only one who makes plans. They got all these plans, you know, I thought that you were going to work with Howard and do this, blah, 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 blah. You shut up, you glassy-eyed baboon, you ass-face,
My problem
dummy, douche, rag,
my
pig.
problem was I actually liked the guy and played golf with him a couple times, but then when you go in to talk to him about money, it's like
Jack.
he's so full of crap. But once again, that was his job to be.
But it's two-tiered. Well, first of all, I would always go to Howard first and say, Howard, I'm going to go ask for a raise from Tom. Could you help me out? You know, and this is where you know Howard did nothing to help out. Because Howard doesn't want any part of any... He's always maintained he doesn't want to be in anyone's negotiation.
He always maintained he didn't want to have anything to do with it, and he knew every penny that was going, every request.
He was totally full of shit. But
That was a sham. I knew that 20 years, you know, before.
But you know what? Here it is like there's no answer. It's like that's the business. That's how it works. And the thing is I don't want to get like we're getting angry that all this stuff happened so long ago and that we could continue. But there's other stuff that happened that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, like the fun that we had. Some of the times it was like you went out of there holding yourself, and then you see a couple of construction workers going, gee, that fucking Jackie, you know, and it's like right outside the window.
yeah, I want to tell you the one that I'm upset I wasn't with you guys with. But I just want to the last thing about Tom.
Yeah, you know what I mean. though.
Yeah. It's just because it involves my family. I said, could I have $5,000 more a year? That's
Yeah.
it. And he goes, I'll tell you what. Instead, I'll give you life and health insurance for you and your family. I go, great. Okay. He goes, and that's equal at least $5,000. I go, okay. 2 months later, the company changes policy where they're not going to pay for health insurance, and they take my health insurance away.
He knew that.
And I said, and I go back to him, Tom.
My raise.
I don't have health insurance. You know, that was money. He goes, John, if I give you, I got to give it to everybody.